This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome to the Elevate Construction Podcast, where we elevate concepts of excellence that will elevate construction for workers, leaders, customers, and the industry as a whole. My name is Jason Schroeder, and today's shorter Build a Little Better podcast is about safety. So before we begin, please share this podcast with others. I would like to challenge you to send it to 2 people that would benefit from this. So let me start out by saying that I heard an inspirational speech one time that absolutely got me to my core. And she said, if you on your project, if everyone on your management team does not come to the project every day and feel responsible for the safety of every person on site, then you don't get it. So let me say that one more time. If you don't come to the project every day and feel 100% responsible for the safety of every last single person on site, then you still don't get what safety is about. So I think that this is a very important topic. I know of people in the industry that where safety just isn't the first priority, and I'll go to their project site and I'll walk the site. We'll do a safety walk, and it's not looking good. And I come back, and they're like, "I do care. It is my focus. It is number one." And I'm like, "Hey, I love you. I don't know how to say this. I don't have the emotional intelligence to communicate to you in a way that will tell you that you don't. It is not your first priority. It is not the first thing that you do, and you haven't made it a part of your leadership, a part of what you do on site." I had a very nice compliment the other day given to me by somebody who I respect infinitely. And he said, "You can see how safety is integrated into all of Jason's processes and his leadership. And it's the first thing that he thinks about when he's on site, when he's in a conversation, or when he's in a meeting." And I thought that was really neat. Now, that didn't come from me. I was taught that by excellent leaders that I've talked about in previous podcasts, but it has to be the first thing on your mind. Literally, so let me explain this. And like I said, it'll be a nice, short little podcast, but I want to explain it with energy and enthusiasm. When you come on site, this is how you could feel. I would say should feel, can feel. You should feel however you want to. But if you want to be fantastic, safety should be a part of how you feel. Meaning that when you get on site, the first question should be, have I done things right now with the team or through observation or any other method to check to make sure that everyone right now on this project site is doing work safely? Let's not go over and look at finances first thing. Let's not go over and talk about procurement. Let's not go over and talk to this one individual that you were going to meet up with. You drive up, you go to the project site, and the first thing that's on your mind is safety. Let me go check the bathrooms. Let me go look at the condition of the site. Let me just observe from the sideline. Let me walk the perimeter of the project to make sure that everything's looking good at our public interface. Let me drive around and look at the fences, look at the traffic control. Let me ask questions about how the morning huddle went. Do you have any critical digging going on today where you would need a dig permit? Any hot work permit? Any confined space permits that are going on site? Ask your people, your superintendents, these questions when you come on site, and make sure that you get a good feel for how safety was going for that morning. Was it a focus for the team? And if not, you might need to make some changes, right? But that applies to the project director, the project executive, that applies to the lead superintendent, that applies to the project manager, that applies to everything. For the first 20, 30 minutes at a minimum, when somebody gets on site, the first question is everybody safe today? Do I feel that they're safe today? Do I sense that they're safe today? Have I observed that the project looks like it's safe today? Do I have indicators from the meetings or from the follow-up or from the orientation that things are properly covered? Do we have proper coverage today? Do we have enough people? Do people look like they're running around like a chicken with their head cut off, or do they look like they're stable? Have I tapped into my standard systems? Have I gone and done a quick field walk? And again, can I go look at the restrooms and see that things are clean, safe, and stable? Because let me just tell you one thing here. Your restrooms, your on-site restrooms, which I hope are being shared by the office and the field teams, but sometimes they aren't. I hope that you go and check those. Whenever I go on a safety walk or I arrive on a project or I'm doing a walk with somebody or I'm coming to visit somebody, or when I was a superintendent leading the project and about to go out and do my daily business of, checking on the things I want to check on, the first thing I would check on were the restrooms. If those restrooms are nice, clean, organized, no graffiti, everyone's jamming out, that's my first indicator that things are going well. And it's my first priority. If I don't have good restrooms, what else am I gonna do on site that's gonna matter at all to anybody? Like, if we don't take care of our people first, we're sure as heck not gonna take care of our customer. We gotta do that first. So the best leaders that are safety-minded as their first priority will go and check the restrooms. Here are a couple of tools that you can use when you arrive on site or when you as a superintendent can go out in the field and do your work. So first thing, morning huddles. Did it happen? Are workers ready to go with their right permits? Do our crews setting up for their first 25 minutes? Are things like cranes planned for? Are there permits for dig permits, for hot work permits, for energized work, for confined space, for critical things like that, for excavations? Are the workers on site being oriented properly? Is somebody like doing that really well in the mornings? Do you have a safety walk that will be scheduled by a person by a certain time that day to go out and do walks and make sure that we're following up on the right things? Do you have somebody that's going to check pre-test plans for the morning? In fact, when I come to a job, I'm like, hey guys, hey, how'd your morning huddle go? How's orientation going? Has somebody checked the pre-test plan this morning by your set time? All pre-test plans on the job site. Yep. Okay, we're going good. Any permits today? Yeah, we have one dig permit. Did they fill out the checklist? So they're good to go? Well, we're in the process of doing it right now, and nobody's gone to work so thus far. I'm like, okay, awesome. So like I'm going through these checks with the project team, and they know Jason comes on site. First thing that I'm going to ask him is, are we safe, clean, and organized for the day? How have you implemented things like that into your personal leadership? You don't want to be like me. I don't want to be like you, but we have to be like a really safety minded person. So, what is your personal system? What questions do you ask? What things do you check on? And just give you another quick list. I check on JHAs, pre-test plans, permits, public interface. I walk the perimeter of the job. I drive around the perimeter of the job. I check for traffic control. I check to make sure, hey, every now and then that we have the right safety and health manuals on site. When I'm walking, I make sure that somebody is doing a safety walk for that day. I make sure that the right people are in the right places. When I go to the job site, will ask if the project emergency response plan is up to date. I'll make sure that we're using paperwork in an intelligent manner the right way. Hey, there's a high risk work over here. Do we have a JHA for that? Has everybody reviewed it? Is it the first thing on your mind? So let me ask you these questions. What things will you check when you come to a project? What things will you do first thing in the morning? What will be the first thing on your mind? What questions will you ask the team? What things will you observe? And what things will you make sure that you know are going 100% so that you have a good feeling for that day that you're headed in the right direction? And I hope I've communicated this the right way. What I'm trying to say is that if we can switch from safety being this thing that you check to the first thing that you always think of in every circumstance, your project visits, your meetings, your interfaces, your interviews, anything. If that can switch to the first thing that you check on, then I think we're going to be really successful. And I don't know how to explain it any better than that. But ask yourself this question and please take this challenge. Is it the first thing on your mind? When you come to a project, do people say, oh my gosh, such and such is going to ask me about this, this, and this, about safety, quality, cleanliness, and organization? Are they going to check my restrooms to make sure that I'm taking care of the guys? Are they going to check how cool the building is to make sure I'm taking care of the guys and gals in the field? Are they going to check my lunchroom to make sure that that's going properly? Are they going to check to make sure that we're doing huddles and communicating to the workers? If the answer is no, if people wouldn't expect that from you, then there's a way to build a little bit better. There's a way to make a change in your leadership to where that's the first thing that you look at. And here's what it all comes down to. I I know that if somebody hurts their finger, that's on me. Trade partner has an injury, that's on me. Somebody doesn't go home to their family, That's on me. Somebody gets overheated. That's on me. I've heard people in the past say, well, that's the trade partner. That was their job. Or, that was that foreman. That's what they needed to do. Well, that contractor's never been that good with safety. Or, accidents happen. Or, this is construction. It's just hard. No, 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 no. That's the wrong answer. Safety is 100% our responsibility, and it's on me and it's on you, and it better be the first thing that we look at anytime we're interacting with that project, or else we are off track. We have to feel the burden, the weight, the responsibility of every single worker's safety on that project when we are waking up in the morning, hopefully saying prayers for the guys that they won't get hurt, guys and gals that they won't get hurt that day, thinking about the high risk activities, sending texts to our leaders on site, or if we're on site, doing those things that we know will set that project in the right direction that day to succeed. You should be the type of leader where people know that, hey, the buck stops here, but I'm not talking about the buck stops here. Like this is my standard, cliche quote. I mean, like it stops here. Like I, as the leader, I'm going to make sure we're all doing this safely, and I'm responsible, and it ain't going to happen on my watch. And 100% I'm going to call you out when it's not going the right way, and I'm going to check on it, and I'm never going to not check on it. That's the key. We do not get this whole safety thing until we all feel the responsibility for every single worker every single day, where we're in tune. We're in tune with our gut feeling. We're in tune with our senses. We're in tune with our logic. We're in tune with our thinking. We're in tune with our double checks. We're in tune with our observations. We're in tune with our questions. We're in tune with everything on that project site. And we get up in the morning and we do some equivalent of praying for everybody that day, and then getting up off of our knees and onto our feet to go execute in a manner that would have that come to pass. I hope this has been helpful. I hope this enables you to build a little better, and on we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.